PSC1-1 is all about solving ratios and proportions. We're going to watch a brain pop at the start of the class. I'm going to try to link that brain pop to Schoology, but I'm not sure I quite know how to make it work. So a ratio is a comparison of any two quantities by dividing, and they are going to compare part to part. Okay, so I'm not comparing part to whole, I'm comparing part to part. So I could compare that if I have 15 kids in the class, and I have 8 girls for every 7 boys, that's a part to a part. I can write my ratios in a few different ways. So I can say 7 to 5, 7 to 5 using the colon, or 7 to 5 using a fraction. Looking at a few examples, my ratio of red to blue is 3 to 1 because I have my 3 red first to 1 blue. Green to blue, in this box, I have 1 green to 4 blue. Green to red in this next box, I have 2 green for every 3 red. I can also have ratios 3 in a row. So my red to blue to green, I could write as 1 to 2 to 1. A proportion is when I have 2 equal ratios. They will form a proportion. So 2 cats for every 5 dogs is the same as having 4 cats and 10 dogs. My cross products on proportions will be equal. You should have done this before, where you have something like this, where you have 8 over 16 equals x over 10. And you drew your little arrows and you said, gee, this side multiplies to be 80. This side is 16x. Those are equal. And then you got to divide by 16, all of that. I will also let you in this class, though, do what I call the fishhook method, where if I had the same problem, since you've done this a million times, you can just draw the arrow and tell me, hey, I'm going to cross multiply and divide. Because then I know, hey, in your calculator, you're doing 8 times 10, all divided by 16. And you know that process pretty well by now. I won't let you do this when you have 2 variables in your proportion, though, just because things get messier there and it's easier to make mistakes. Looking at this first example, I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So I'm doing 9 times 4, all divided by 6. 9 times 4 is 36 divided by 6. M has to be 6. On this next one, x plus 4 will equal whatever my fishhook cross multiply dividing equals. So 36 times 4 divided by 9, which works out to be 16. Then when I add the 4 back, x is 20. On this one, I'm not going to do the fishhook just because it's difficult to say like, oh, y times 2 divided by 3 equals this messiness. It's just too easy for you to make mistakes as you're setting up your algebra. So we are going to do our cross products. So I'm going to do 3 times y take away 3 equals 2 times y. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 3. So I get 3y minus 9 equals 2y. Subtract my 3y, and I get negative 9 equals negative y. So y must equal 9. Similar idea on this one, because I have that variable in 2 places, and they're across from each other, it's easier to write it out this way. And if you want to do this on all of them, you certainly can. X squared then equals 27 times 3, which is 81. So x is 9, and x is negative 9. All right, then I get a word problem, and I'm told, hey, in a picture, Susie Cream Cheese is 2.5 inches tall, Billy Bagel is 1.5 inches tall, her actual height is 70 inches. We want to know Billy's actual height. So I'm going to set up a ratio of Susie Cream Cheese's picture to Billy Bagel's picture. That will equal Susie's actual height, 70, to Billy's actual height. Now I can do the fish hook thing where I do 70 times 1.5 divided by 2.5. And I get, and that's hard to see, Billy's height is exactly 42. All right, this is one that you don't think you'll use ever, and then you grow up and you become a poor college student, and you're walking through the grocery store and you start to pay a lot of attention to this. Because, especially with spices are super expensive if you buy name brand spices. That's just a life skill you should know. Anyways, 16-ounce box of cereal is on sale for $4.35. We want the price per ounce. So I want my second ratio to be per 1 ounce, which means I need my 16 ounces to be in my first ratio. So I have $4.35. And I want to know how much am I paying for each single ounce of cereal. And this is useful because if I had a second brand of cereal that I was considering, I could figure out what's the price of this one for 1 ounce and what's the price of this one, and then get the better buy. That works well for things that you don't really care about the brand of. Obviously, if you're deciding between Fruit Loops and like Raisin Bran, there are other factors in play there. But for things that you don't care the brand of, this is a good way to figure out what's your best bargain. 1 times 4.35 is always just going to be 1, so I'm really doing $4.35 divided by 16, which works out to be 27.18 cents. A little more than that, it keeps going. But I'm paying about 27 cents for 1 ounce of cereal.